And then Sister Fire Rose Teray will introduce Brother Gregory.
Great evening, my brothers and sisters. Wow, what an evening. Bridges over troubled water. So many of our honorees have been those bridges. Dick Gregory really needs no introduction. But just let me tell you how I'm feeling. Ralph said, you've been drafted to do this. He didn't have to draft me. He just does not know how much I needed to be in the presence of Dick Gregory and the spirit of the people you've honored tonight. It was just last week in Selma where I was at a public grave site. And while I was just videoing this grave site where they were building, and they are, as I speak, building a monument to the first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. And as I filmed what they were doing, the superintendent came and literally assaulted me. And I was feeling a little let down. And my husband called a press conference and lifted me. But when I was asked to introduce you, Dick, my brother, I was lifted even higher. You see, I just needed to be in your presence and the presence of freedom fighters tonight. I needed to be reminded of your courage and your determination, not just to free yourself, because all things considered, you were living pretty good when you were called into the movement. You were making money and living good, but you knew that you could not live well until people all over the world lived well. So I needed to be reminded of how you started in this movement. I needed to be reminded of how you risked your life to go to Mississippi, when you met Meredith and you felt death coming and you cried with Meredith, not knowing that you would never see him alive again, to return home to find your own son dead. And in spite of the death of your baby, you were so compelled to be in this movement because you are a freedom marathon runner. And when I woke up this morning, Brother Dick Gregory, these words came to me. The words just kept coming into my heart and mind. Gold medalist, marathon runner, gold medalist. And I guess the Olympics was on my mind because, oh, didn't Gabby make you feel fine? So it was on my mind, even the brother from Grenada and Jamaica. I mean, I had the gold medalist on my mind. But then I just kept thinking, it's something about Dick Gregory that he's a different kind of marathon runner. And when I was over at the museum, and give a hand to the museum, y'all, because we need to keep this history. If we don't tell our own stories, no one will tell it well. But when I heard you remind us of Jimmy Lee Jackson, because so many of us forget. And every year you're called, you come to that museum, you come to Selma because you understand the need for us to tell our story. And you were there when the history was made, and many of those who made the history have long forgotten. And you reminded us, if it was not for the death of Jimmy Lee Jackson and the trail of blood that led to the White House, we would not have a President Obama. So Dick Gregory, you give me reason to keep fighting because I get weary and tired. And sometimes I feel that the struggle is never ending, but you remind me that freedom is in the struggle, and the only way to be free is to struggle and be a freedom marathon runner. And so these are the words that came to my mind. Gregory, gold medalist, marathon runner, running in places most men dare not go, running for reasons most people dare not know. Gregory, marathon runner, your goal was first won when you were young, won but not given. When you proved to be the fastest runner in the state of your birth, but denied the goal because your skin was black. But marathon runners are never defeated. You found ways to fight back. Freedom was the gold and the goal. Your determination to outrun Jim Crow was ferocious. The imminent threat of death didn't stop you. Mississippi billboards flashing Gregory, room 702, didn't stop you. Lil's overwhelming grief of losing your son and forcing Lil to make a choice didn't stop you. Your questioning God about the death of little Richie, born into money, love, yet snatched away from his sound space, far away from the battle line, didn't stop you. The death of your new friend Megger and 4 little girls only made you run faster and faster towards freedom's finish line, making us laugh and think away our misery and fear. Gregory, marathon runner, gold medalist, your goal was won but not given. When you outran Jim Clark, Bull Connor, lawless lawmen armed with guns, tear gas, and laws that sanction their lawlessness. Gregory, marathon runner, your goal was won but not given. When your love for justice and freedom outran your opportunities for more money, status, and financial security. Gregory, humanitarian, you ran for humanity. You ran away fear and doubt with your ingenious ability to give us comic relief and uncontrollable laughter as you made us think. When you were niggerized, you turned it on them and claimed glory from it. You took the nig out of nigger and made us bigger, stronger, and better, exposing the foolishness of their racist ways. When told we don't serve coloreds here, you drew the pausing from their words when you responded, "Thank God I don't eat coloreds, I eat chicken." Only a man favored by God could respond with such wisdom and wit. Gregory, marathon runner, for nearly 50 years, you've been running the truth and justice marathon race. Gold medalist Michael Phelps can claim the highest number of man-made medals of gold, but few have earned your precious gold, a gold without shine or monetary value, God's gold, given only to freedom marathon runners who seek a world of justice and peace for the very least. And until that is done, the race will not be complete. Gregory, my brother, my beloved Dick Gregory, you are a marathon runner. You have earned so many times God's medals of gold because you never stop running. Even when they move the finish line, you just keep on running, making us laugh and think all the way. It is my most immense pleasure not to introduce, but to allow you this gift of hearing the words, the dreams, the visions of our lifetime achiever, Dick Gregory, the marathon runner. May we receive him in love and open arms.
Cornelius, you got the video? Okay. Hey, Ms. Chairman.
All board members,
Come on, son.
Ms. Gregory. It is with great pleasure that we present this Lifetime Achievement Award in honor of Estelle Witherspoon to Mr. Dick Gregory for all his hard work. As mentioned before, his dedication and the legacy he has set and will continue. I don't have my glasses.
There you go.
Somebody. Mr. Gregory loaned me his glasses. Thank you. And it's read, Estelle Witherspoon Lifetime Achievement Award. In the spirit of Estelle Witherspoon, the Federation of Southern Cooperative Land Assistance Fund present this award to Mr. Dick Gregory in appreciation for your untiring humanitarian work on behalf of undeserved and oppressed people around the world. August 16, 2012. Thank you, and we're honored to give you this award.
And we're presenting with a copy of the video that was shown as well.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, the podium is yours for the next 3 hours.
Oh, thank you. Let me first say we thank and praise God that we all made it here safely today. And I pray to God that your return and my return will be equally as safe. What a pleasure I have had this day and being here, watching you, listening to you. Let me first say thanks to those of you who made this happen today. My job is easy. All I have to do is present a body. A whole lots of work go into making something like this happen. So those of you who hard work and dedication went in to making this night possible, we say thank you. God bless you. Secondly, let me say to those of you who handles the physical part. Someone picked me up at the airport, and someone showing up gonna take me back. The physical part. This food didn't cook itself. The mic didn't turn itself on. The tables didn't put themselves together. The physical part, the invisible part of making things happen. Someone, when we leave here tonight, we'll never know their names, will come in here and clean up behind us. Those invisible folks, those of you that's ever been to the airport, and all at once we find out there'll be no planes leaving tonight. 4 o'clock in the morning, they tell you. They're gonna put you up in a hotel, and your flight's out at 6 o'clock. When you leave that airport, it's filthy. No food is there. The men's room and women's room is just paper all over where. Soap done ran out. You leave, you get on a bus, and you go to the hotel, and 2 hours later, you back, and everything's clean. The toilets is clean, the paper bowls is full, the food has been replenished. And these are folks that's invisible, but nothing could function if they weren't there. So to all the invisible folks, at all. to all the invisible folks that make it happen, we say thank you. Bless you. And finally, I looked around here tonight when I came in, and I didn't see no homeless folks here, which means all of you are here like I got here. We all had something to do, but we thought tonight was so important, we canceled what we had to do to be here. And had you not made that decision, the rest of it wouldn't have counted. So I say to you and you and you, we thank you and bless you. I sit here tonight and I thought about this movement. I thought about how I got in it and how I stayed in it. All over the world, people talk about the millions of dollars I've made and what my career was. I was liberating me. I was liberating me. I'm tired of living in a country that go all over the world liberating folks. And here's a segment here that's not liberated. And one day when the soldiers that go to the front line of battle to fight these wars realize when they get back home, the people that they fight and kill to liberate and be killed have better things going on in the country than they have. I read an article in the Time magazine 2 weeks ago, front page. One a day. I thought they was talking about medicine. They weren't talking about medicine. They was talking about one veteran commits suicide every day. And that's a lie. I make my living doing research. It's 30 veterans commit suicide every day. And so I say to those of you that's here that have made differences happen, God, I was here. I don't have to have nobody tell me. When I'm running for my life in Mississippi, that's a hell of a feeling. Knowing if you get shot, you can't call nobody, because they'd probably come and move you off the house. And I never knew, as bad as things was, because a group of human beings was willing to die, not to kill, that I can stand here tonight and tell you, to my surprise, head of the Mississippi State Troopers ended up being a black man with no guns, no violence. Huh? Wow. I never thought I'd see the day that this thing would change so fast. I'd have white news media asking me to comment on white folk business. I came back from Europe 2 months ago, and here's NBC. Mr. Gregory, how do you feel about we finally caught bin Laden? I said, I wasn't looking for him. Said, I'm still trying to find out who my daddy is. Bob Hope, comedian, died at 104 years old. The AP called me 4 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Gregory, sorry to wake you up, but Bob Hope died an hour ago. We just wanted to get a comment from you. I thought he'd been dead. I said, my comment is to tell the Bob Hope family they should get on a plane on a Saturday and fly to Chicago to Jesse Jackson's push meeting and fall on their knees and kiss Jesse's feet. Because for 40 years, Jesse been hollering, keep hope alive. And Jesse's stuff worked. Hope lived to get 104. No comics lived that long. I saw Jesse in Washington, D.C. a couple of weeks ago, and he said, Greg, now that Bob Hope died, let me start praying for you. I said, how you going to run around talking about keep Dick alive? So I've lived a happy life, thanks. I've been married 54 years. Wait, I didn't say I was happy. Biggest problem I had when I got married is my wife couldn't handle debt. When we gonna pay Sears and Roebuck? You act like we got some money. We don't have no money. And when I get some money, Sears and Roebuck is not my first priority. They knew when I got that stuff I wasn't gonna pay for it. What do you mean by that? I said on the back of the application, they said, who gonna pay for this? I said, your mama. I came home 2 weeks later, I thought my wife's having a nervous breakdown. They did it. Here, Sears and Roebuck, final notice. I read it. Thank God we won't be hearing from them no more. You got to understand, fear and God do not occupy the same space. That's how you made it this long. Somewhere. Somebody asked me the other day, said, all these folks losing their homes, how you feel about that? I said, they took my house when times was good. They repossessed my Rolls Royce while me and my wife was in it. And she's so naive, she thought they was giving us an oil change. My brother was one of the first black executives with Enron. Oh, he was living good. And everything collapsed. He lost everything. Called me the other day. They about to repossess my car. What must I do? Don't park in front of the house. And Americans is real scared now. White folks is scared. And now them bill collectors, now they got to call these white folks, their tone done changed. I told some black folks today, why are you worrying about the bill collectors? They in India. Yeah, they called me, I said, come on over here and get this money. I got it, come get it. And you got nerve enough to tell your children to lie. Tell them I'm not here. You know, once you tell a child to lie for you, they'll lie to you. One of them bill collectors called me. Mr. Gregory. I said, yep. He didn't know what to do. They've been trained, you're going to say you're not there. And when you say you're there, they got to run back to the manual. What do you do when they say they're there? He said to me, this is not you. I said, boy, how old are you? 22. I've been owing this company this money for 38 years. What makes you think you're going to collect it in your lifetime? If you be cool and play your cards right, you can retire on this account. And I'm glad you white folks is having some serious, because all at once now, the collectors, they tone and change. Get a call the other day. Hi there, guy. When can we expect the payment? Well, I'm not in control of your expectations. Matter of fact, you can expect the payment all the time. Matter of fact, expect the payment today. And I was in the military for 3 days. 3 days. They put me out because I was honest. 50,000 of us in the field, captain standing on the platform. And if you troopers ever get captured by the enemy, give up nothing but name, rank, and seal number. Y'all understand? 50,000 said, yeah, I understand. I stood up and said, hey, baby, I do not understand. He said, what's wrong with you, stupid? I said, I might be. You women know what dog tags are? It has your name, rank, and seal number on, right? So I stood up and got my ghetto bag. I said, excuse me, sir, you say if we get captured by the enemy, give up number, name, rank, seal number? That's what I said. I said, you know they can get that information if I'm dead. No, y'all got to give me something to negotiate with. I don't mind giving up my life for my country and all of that, but I'm going to be honest with you. If I get caught, I'm talking. Then he want to tell me I'm unpatriotic, anti-American. I said, no. I've been in the Army 3 days. I'd be all of those things had I not told you. So you get in touch with the Pentagon now and tell them to put on my records. If Dick Gregory ever get caught, y'all change all your used-to-be secrets. Because it's something about somebody pouring hot water down my back, snatching my fingernails off, and sticking pins in my eyeball. I tell them where my mama is. And if she don't understand that, she'll understand it when that hot water hit her back. Somewhere. Fear. And you old black folks, y'all need to listen to some of the stuff y'all be saying. It don't even make sense. Lying to these young children. Heard some old folks talking to young folks, I wish we was back in the good old days. They lying. I was there. The only thing good about the good old days was they left. We were so poor and hungry and ragged when I was a child. The best day we had in our house was Halloween. That's the day you can wear your natural clothes, and everybody thought you was dressed for the occasion. Oh, look at Richard, got on shoes, look just like feet. And you black folks, some of y'all be looking at TV, everything you see, you get scared. Like an old silly cousin in Kansas City. He look at so much crime on TV, he got 27 locks on his door and haven't got a damn thing in the house. I said, boy, if somebody break in here, they'd leave something. Somewhere, the games. Somewhere. I'm trying to put me a business partnership together. I got the 4 blacks. I need 1 white for a minority piece. And we're going to open up a black airline, and we're going to let people know it's black. It's going to be named Tamika Air. And our motto, we leave late, but we get you there on time. And we have a special ad to white folks. We'll never leave your bag because we're not going to let you bring none on. And we're going to be a good Christian airline. We ain't selling no whiskey on our flight. You bring your own, we sell the setups. And you ain't gonna hear none of that other crazy stuff you hear on white airline. You ever sit on the emergency exit? And they come out there, gonna read all these directions to you like you work for them. In case of emergency, would you be willing to, lady, let me just tell you something. I'm not even planning on getting my damn briefcase. Let's alone gonna help somebody. I got on this plane by myself. If anything happens, I'm getting off by myself. But things have changed. I remember in the early 60s when Delta Airline was trying to be cool. Me and my partner got on first class. That shocked them. And then the plane started making funny kind of noises. And we heard the stewardess say, there's some problems we having. We think the plane's overweight. And we've thrown all the luggage off, and it's still overweight. So for respect for the women, we asking the men to volunteer and jump. Nobody moved. Me and my man sitting right up first class. So since we can't get no volunteers, we'll do it alphabetically. African Americans. My man got ready to move. Hey, sit down, man. Black folks. Colored folks. The pilot come out the cockpit and walked up to me and said, we call in alphabetical order. We called African Americans, black folk, colored folk. What y'all waiting for? I said, we be Zulu today. And you know, I just can't believe how silly you white folk can be. You go to the damn airport and you act like they doing you a favor. They treat you all kind of ways. I can't believe you white folks to take that. They give you a damn ticket. We talking about jets. They make you walk 2 miles to the airplane. Anything happen at the airport, I can blame it on white folks. Now, if y'all got a complaint about Greyhound, bring it to me, baby. Airport, that's 99.9% white folks. Come to Greyhound, that's us, baby. You white folks huffing and puffing and trying to get to the damn plane. Black folks would never tolerate that at Greyhound. Greyhound bring that bus up to your toe. White folks lose your bag, they act like you didn't have none. After you've been there an hour and a half waiting on your bag. Greyhound, a block for that Greyhound bus get into the terminal, they'll announce all the bags got ripped off in Memphis. White dude sitting next to me says, this is the first time I've been on Greyhound, my plane was canceled. What happens when all your bags get ripped off? I said, well, at the airport, they say lost and found. Greyhound just say lost. So you just get on there and get you a couple of bags and get the hell on out. Damn plane crash. They said, well, we'll know something in a couple of years. Plane crash tonight? A couple of years? Yes, a couple of years. And then think what you go through. You lost your loved one. Now you got to go hire a lawyer. Now the trial gonna take 4 years. And the lawyer get 40%. Greyhound don't play that. Greyhound had that damn bus, went down that 7-mile embankment in Arizona. And Greyhound made an announcement. We overlooked the situation and we don't think nobody survived it, so there's no need in us wasting lives to go down there and try to bring them up. They're all dead. And we know how you feel about your loved ones. And we don't need to find out what happened, because looking at those skid marks, I'm sure the driver was on cocaine. And that's a hell of a, you imagine, hell of a thing. Can you imagine your husband on Greyhound, and they fly you out there, and they tell you there's nothing we can do about it. Then they take their checkbook out. We ain't talking about waiting no 4 or 5 years. On the spot. $12 million. All yours. And the hardest thing you're going to have to do now is go to the funeral trying to look sad. Somewhere. And so fear. Heard some old black folks the other day. I don't know what's wrong with these young'uns. When we was their age, we didn't lock no doors. You didn't have nothing. Somewhere. And that's the beauty of what we're here for tonight. A movement absent of fear and hatred. 98% of the people in the forefront of the civil rights movement had Reverend in front of their name before they had PhD. We were there. Oh, it's easy now. When I think about what it was like 40, 50 years ago and what it's like now, I'm talking about that when you couldn't sit in here. In no shape, form, or fashion. I'm talking about when a woman at any airline, white woman, because they wasn't hiring black stewardess, all that woman could do on a plane was be a stewardess. She couldn't be a mechanic. She couldn't be a pilot. She couldn't even work the baggage room. And in order for that white woman to be a stewardess, she had to look like something out the center page of Playboy magazine. And because of this movement, you get on a plane now and see an old, ugly, fat white stewardess. We got her that job. Not her brother, not the Marine. We got her that job. Somewhere. And when you think about all of the folks in that movement that died, their names will never be mentioned. They don't need to be mentioned. There's a universal God that got the name covered. Somewhere. And so to you, my brother Page, and your organization, thank you. Oh, it's nice to take a break and come here, but look at those 40-some years of what you went through, man. Just trying to plant a damn turnip, huh? Everybody was getting their loans. They were getting GI Bill loans and all of that. And all you got was some dirt. And then had to fight all these years to get those numbers mentioned that we heard today. And so we say thank you. Those of you that's in here, all what you've been through, and I look at the family members that come up, the families, huh? You go through it double because you're not in all the meetings. You don't know where it's going or what's happening. Somewhere. And so we say thank you, thank you. And thank God I've lived long enough through this movement to know the strongest two forces in the history of America has always been the black woman in the black church. That's how not just us, but America have survived. The black woman in the black church. And then you get insults. What about what's wrong with the black family? Ain't no black man at home. What a filthy thing for us brothers to let them say to you, we ain't home when we home. I mean, think about that. They want to know why y'all get to work so late? Well, the later I get there, the longer I keep my dignity, and the earlier I can get off, the quicker I get it back. Huh? And how do you sit and let this country talk to you about family values? I am family value. I never stole nobody. I never enslaved nobody. I never took nobody from their mother and father, from their motherland, from their religion. And you gonna tell me about family? And some of you black folks is stupid enough to go along. I am family values. Huh? Family value. Ask the damn mafia about family values. Huh? Kill everything moving. And then run to church and go and say to the priest, Father, I killed 27 people. Can you forgive me? Because I got 6 more I got to get this. How long? How long do we have to apologize for what the system had did to me? How long? Somewhere. And then you look at all of these beautiful people that we honor today, that we've always honored, with no backing from the United States government. Chicago Tribune. I ain't never committed a crime in my life. White boy slipped this to me. I got it for the FBI. I got their copy. Headlines, front page. FBI memo, use mob to kill Dick Gregory. Use mob to kill me. That's what we've been through. Huh? Not some thugs, United States government. Huh? And so when you stop and think about what we go through, what's wrong with the children? This article never ran in an American newspaper, this is a British paper. Polluted water, crime linked to pollution. Polluted water can cause brain damage that turns ordinary people into violent criminals. Pollution. Huh? Who said that? Roger Masters, brilliant researcher, Dartmouth College. He compared the crime rate from the FBI files with industrial waste of lead and manganese. The body needs manganese, but once you get too much, you'll kill your mama. Somewhere. I'm glad we moving to the point now where we're not apologizing for all the craziness that go down. Somewhere. And so I thank you when we can take time out like this here to hold one another, to laugh with one another, and bring some of our white brothers and sisters around. Now, some of y'all can overdo that shit. See, y'all that hear me, y'all know 98% of my audience always been white, and I ain't never lied to them. And I'd be honest with white folks. I have said some stuff about white folks, but you white folks sitting here, you can damn sure bet you I wasn't talking about you. That's right. See, I advocated ain't but about 400 white folks on the whole planet, and the rest of y'all is imposters. See, white ain't got nothing to do with a color, it's an attitude. And if you haven't got trillions of dollars in the bank, you can't have the attitude. And one day you black folk gonna have to apologize to most of these white folk, because the white folks you mad at, they couldn't help you if they liked you. I'm talking about Queen Elizabeth type white folk. Now, them bees my white folks. Queen Elizabeth make $360 million every 24 hours, just interest on our money. They're not ethical, they're not honest, they're not decent, but they tell the truth. They say, we going to war to protect our interests. As an interest. Somewhere, when you think about, we have made a difference. And those of you that come up and accept this one on behalf, as you drive home, as you go to where you're going, think about the difference that have been made at their expense. Huh? You knew them. You see them leave the house and come back. You see all the burdens they have. When you're trying to make a budget, huh? When you're not doing anything wrong, you got investigators looking over your shoulder, for no reason at all. And you have to deal with that. So I come here to accept this on behalf of my family. I ain't gonna lie to you, I get a little nervous every now and then. Do you realize this is the only movement in the history of planet Earth that they took all the leaders down? Jesus Christ, they just killed Jesus. They didn't mess with his disciples. They took us out one by one. Any white person that looked like they was going to treat them, they popped them too. They didn't even got black people on what's wrong with the movement, what's wrong with the movement. You damn near killed it all. And they're going to ask me what's wrong. Ask your mama. Somewhere. And I'll be honest, bro, sometimes they get to dropping so fast. Me and a couple of friends the other day, looking at all the deaths, and we just got to talking and reminiscing. I said, man, if you could die, and wherever you go, you can look back and see what they're saying about you. So my one friend, Calvin, said, well, I'd like to look down and just hear him say Calvin was a good man. He was a family man. Took care of, he loved the children. Mary said, well, I just wanted to say to me, if I look down and see him, Mary was a nice mother and a nice wife and dedicated family person. He said, Greg, what about you? I said, I want to look down there and hear him say, the nigger's moving. And that's what you got. You got to be honest. You got to even be honest with God. You know when they said I had the worst form of cancer? Remember that? Said I had the type of cancer you get working in a nuclear plant. Now, when the last time I've been in a nuclear plant? And who owns nuclear plants? The government. So it's obvious I've never been in a nuclear plant. The nuclear plant came to me. And I showed the report to my son. I said, now don't show this to your mother until after your sister get married. You know, your mama can be a little nervous and flaky. So after my daughter got married, I carried Lil the report. She looked at it, she started crying. I said, I can't believe they did this to you. I said, you think I'm leaving this booty back here for your high school sweetheart? You out your mind. I ain't going nowhere. And then I went and said a serious prayer to God. I don't talk about one of them beg and pimp prayers. I talk to God like I don't know if God's up or what, so I just look all around when I'm talking to God. I said, hey, champ, you know you really messed up the other day. I'm talking to you, God. You might be tired. Now, there are some Negroes that deserve cancer, but I'm not one of them. Now, if you're tired and you need me to write you 12 black folks' names down, I will do that. And if you need some close to the house, I can do that too. And then I looked inside of me and said, cancer, I'm giving you 72 hours to get out my body. 72 hours. And if you don't, I'm going to roll on you. I got on the Joe Madison show and we discussed it, and a white doctor called me. Dick Gregory and Dr. Christian, I heard the Joe Madison show. Said there's some water down in El Salvador. 5 days of it coming off the mountain to cure anything you got. And I went down there. I had been going to, see, I can be a little tricky. See, I be talking real black. But they say the best cancer test you can get is cedar-cyanide. So I stopped by Howard University Hospital first. So I could always say I went by the black hospital. I wasn't intending on staying. I'm just going through so my paper look good. And I get out to see the cyanide. And one thing you black folk got to stop doing, you have to stop looking sad. They said, see, when you walk in, I walk in like white boys do. Hey, man, that thumbs up. They go on and they give me this test. That's where they have nuclear medicine. Richard Jaffe invented it. And when you walk in looking chipper and acting, they send you a bill. Y'all going all, oh no, Lord. No. I'm going in like I know I'm going to live. 6 months later, they sent the bill to the house, $1.5 million. My wife said, how are we going to pay for this? I said, let them repossess it. And so, for you black folks that listen to these white folks, and you believe there ain't no difference between black folks and white folks, that's a lie. That's a lie. If you ever hear that Cialis commercial, you know they are not talking to black men. And if you have a 4-hour erection, go to the emergency ward. Now, in my neighborhood, a 4-hour erection is a treat. You go down to the drugstore and tip the pharmacist. And you hear him play that stuff on TV, right in your living room. My 4-year-old grandson walked up to me the other day. Granddad, what's an erection? I said, go ask grandmother. Sometimes I forget how smart you black women are. He came back with that little smile on his face. I said, what'd she tell you? He said, she told me that she'll tell me later, but for me to tell you, she haven't seen one of them things around the house in years. And so again, I say thank you. And health-wise, remember one thing. The 3 top killers in America is not cancer, sugar, diabetes, or high blood pressure. The number 1 killer is sleep deprivation. Number 2 is dehydration. And number 3 is lack of physical fitness. All of them are free. All of them are gifts from God. But when you can't have time to do that, it's like you don't have time to put gas in your car, it'll run out. And I say it is time for us in the movement to start understanding our body. We too valuable to humankind to leave here earlier than we need to. Take care of your body, get your rest. Don't let nobody make you angry. In no shape, form, or fashion inside. And so to those of you that have held this organization together and have kept it together, say they thought they could outlive you and they wouldn't have to pay you that money. I didn't believe y'all was going to give. When I read and saw y'all got it, I called my wife and said, baby, is anything in my record? I used to do a little farming. I called Brother Page. I said, baby, what you have to do to qualify to get a little taste of that change, huh? I love you. God bless you. And peace be with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, let's get Dick another round of applause. I tell you, that was something. I tell you, that was something. And again, thank you for the Keon family, the Klein family. And of course, this ends the activities tonight And I want to thank finally all of you who have supported it and thought enough of us to come out tonight. We tried to go around to each table to personally thank everybody for being supportive. Without you, it would not be a federation, and we realize that. Without you, the change that we fight for so hard and so dearly every day would not be able to happen. You are an important part of this family and what we do. I hope you all safe travels back. I hope you all will come over to Epps tomorrow for some other activities with a fish fry tomorrow night. Then, of course, on Saturday morning, we will have an interfaith memorial service, which is our prayer breakfast. Normally, we'll be doing that, then our business meeting and adjourn. Again, thank you for these 45 years. We thank you so much, and thank you. God bless you, and thank you. Have a safe trip home. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for coming and sharing this wonderful evening with us, and we hope to see you at the Federation's Training Center tomorrow and Saturday. Good night.
Normally tonight I didn't say